Hello, YouTubers, friends, compatriots, bootlickers, shills, desolate serfs, peasants, vassals, peaceniks, warmongers. I'm a useful idiot, and well, we're going to talk about Syria, and I bet you know why. Because the U.S. has finally got its new war, and I've pretty much suggested in previous videos that this was inevitable because the fall is coming up, and Assad has been having a lot of victories in the field, and the rest of the country is an al-Qaeda-run bloodbath. And so here we go. There is, as I said time and time again, there is no plan B. The United States will remove Assad. He is on the Wesley Clark list. This is one of the last of the rogue nations. If they descend into chaos, that's fine, because at least they will be neutered as a challenge to Western powers. So they're willing to trade off complete chaos, just not to have Assad in power. That's what's at stake here. And so anyway, we have the United States and Britain in some sort of coalition as predicted. The Libya model, getting some sort of coalition of the willing together. Looks like it's going to be France and the United States and Britain and whoever else they can patch together to make it look like it's some sort of NATO operation and take the heat off the United States as the adversary. But we all know this is a United States operation. The United States is going into yet another war. However limited these strikes may be or whatever happens next, it will open a whole can of worms, and we know it will because it always does. And we also have a couple of interesting stories that have come out. One of the more dramatic is in the French paper Le Figaro, second largest paper in France, so a certain amount of credibility. They suggest that 300 combat troops from Israel, the United States, and Jordan, and as well as CIA operatives and this new secular army supposedly trained down there, is already moving into Syria and has been for the last 10 days, supposedly as of August 17th. And that puts it well before the false flag chemical attack event that happened, so perhaps this force was actually involved in that. It would make a lot of sense, considering this group was trained in chemical weapon securing and cleanup and use of. And so interestingly that they should move into Syria, and then a few days later, coinciding with the UN investigators, a chemical attack happens. And of course, another thing about the chemical attack is that it's pretty low-grade, primitive stuff, so it's not the kind of things that the government would be using, which is also in line with a false flag event. But pretty dramatic, the fact that there are now supposedly United States, Israeli, and Jordanian combat troops inside of Syria. So this war has begun. And I've assumed that there's operatives from Israel and Saudi Arabia and the United States and Jordan and all those special operations people in Syria this entire time. But this is a large movement of forces, and I suspect there will probably be more moving in from Jordan as we speak. And let's remember that the maneuvers that were done in Jordan, all the equipment was left behind, including Patriot missile batteries and F-16 fighters, so we can probably see those put into use. So I'll attach a video I did previously about the so-called secular force that the United States was training inside of Jordan. So this is that force has now moved into Syria. So now we have purportedly the British are going to be the first ones to strike inside Syria. And then we will see United States forces that have been amassing in the area. And we have John Kerry out there talking about what a moral atrocity this is. So the rhetoric is being ramped up, and we can expect strikes, I'm sure, any hour now, any day now, and nothing really to hold it back. And as I said before, it doesn't really matter. The British are already claiming that the evidence from the attack is probably destroyed, and the inspection team is there. It really doesn't matter what they come up with. The big lie has been sold already. They're going to take action, and in the minds of most people, it will be stamped in their mind that the United States has this moral mission to stop the atrocities in Syria. And so the United States and the allies in NATO will have a new war on their hands. And just to prove that nothing can hold it back, here's the headlines in the Seattle Times today. And it says, Syria agrees to inspection, but U.S. says it's too late. So that's our foreign policy now. That's our international flavor is, well, we'd like to have this inspection, and we'd like to find out who did it, but, well, gotta go because we got a war to start. So anyway, I can't imagine anything else is going to unfold other than this new war. And we all know what will happen next. There will be lots of unforeseen consequences, and not the least of which that we will find United States forces interacting with Al-Qaeda, and we will have Israeli forces in there, which will be a hot-button issue. And we should also see confrontations between Western forces and Hezbollah, which will also complicate things. It will probably further inflame the sectarian violence going on in Lebanon now, and things can get more out of hand there. So, but there'll be plenty of time to watch the shitfest unfold in this region, because this is certainly the geopolitical equivalent of kicking a hornet's nest, and that's what we have. I'm a useful idiot. Don't you be one too.